Good afternoon and welcome to the Rethunk Junk main page. My name is Diane Pruitt and I am commandeering this page for a little while this afternoon in the name of all things fun Rethunk Junk. And today we're going to add SaltWash to the mix, literally to the mix. Have you ever seen the SaltWash lookbook? Well, if you have you tried the faux sea glass? Well, why not? It's so simple and easy. Foolproof even. Ask me how I know. I am ready to tackle this project, and here's the beautiful thing about using Rethunk Junk paint products in conjunction with your SaltWash. And this is my favorite size can right here. You can do so much with this. It's foolproof. You may not get the exact same result every single time you put the two products together, but that's the idea. The job is to create something completely unique and special. Hello, Miss Judy. I'm so glad to see you. As you pop in, say hello. Let me know where you're from. I know where Miss Judy's from. I talk to her on Facebook all the time. But thank you so much, Miss Judy, for being here today. Facebook has been acting kind of crazy lately, not very happy with small businesses. So if you have some favorite Rethunk Junk retailers that you like to watch do tutorials, please make sure you follow their page and support them just simply by watching. Let's overcome those algorithm bots. Let's support and love each other through it. I have a couple of different things that I want to work with today. The first is a spray bottle. This is going to get messy and I don't have on an apron, but we can work through it. The second is a cup of water mixed with some cotton that's mixed with SaltWash. So I just simply put it in the cup, stirred it around. I'll show you, hang on. Let me get here and here. Hey, when you have your SaltWash already mixed up, which I did, I have a cup of cotton and SaltWash. Look how thick it is. Ooh, it's gonna splash down. So just take a spoonful, stir it around in your water. We're gonna do a couple of different techniques today, and I wanna show you how you can make faux sea glass. Not all of us live right beside the beach like Sherry MacArthur from Sea Breezy Designs. She is so lucky. She's right there at the Atlantic Ocean and she's always finding fabulous treasure on the beach. Well, if you don't live near the beach, but you live for the beach, well, then you want to make sure you know how to do this because it is so much fun to make and it's easy. Now this is stirred really well. This is stirred really well. This is just plain water and I added, I don't know if you can see in the bottom, I added SaltWash to the bottom. So we're gonna need to swoosh that around and I'll shake it once I put the lid on. But first we need to add some paint color to it. Now anytime you're working with your SaltWash, when you're through scooping, make sure you close the lid because if you turn the fan on and it blows out of your container, it's not really something you want to breathe in. It's non-toxic to touch and to play with. Don't breathe in this dust, okay? It's not good for you. But working with it, it is. It's a lot of fun. I also have my peacock feather blue, and I have my bluebird, and I have my Cloverfield. Now I know that if I happen to find some green sea glass, it's probably going to be a frosty green color. It's not going to be this bright. Let's see if I can crack this open without cracking that lid. I sure did. One good flat pop on the table and you'll have everything you need. I've been working on a lot of projects, so I have a lot of materials right here in the studio. All right, I love this color. That's so beautiful. Let's add about a teaspoon, just a plain teaspoon of Cloverfield. And let's look at what that does when we mix it up. That's that nice color that if you found a piece of sea glass at the ocean, this is what it will have faded into. Sea glass has rolled on the ocean floor and it's nice and smooth and soft and frosty looking. Sea glass is not clear. Sea glass has just been worked over by nature. That is a beautiful facsimile of the green sea glass color. So I'm going to cap this and I'm going to put this away because that's all we need of that. Now this one, I'll stir it just a little bit more and let's put some Bluebird in that one. Shake it really well and let's pop it on the table. And let's crack this one open without cracking the lid. All right, and I'm gonna wipe my spoon off so I don't contaminate my paint. And I'm just gonna take a teaspoon of Bluebird and I'm gonna pour it into the container. Close this up because I don't need any more than that. Now let's stir this up. Oh, isn't that going to be pretty? I love working with Bluebird. It's one of my favorite colors. It's so vibrant. But if you found a piece of blue sea glass, it wouldn't be so bright. So this is the cup that has both Bluebird and cotton in it. And the cotton already had the salt wash mixed in, so I just watered it down. It just looks like Bluebird water now, doesn't it? I love that. All right, so we have Cloverfield, Bluebird. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the peacock feather blue. Shake this up really well. Oh, we're gonna pop it real good one time. That's not gonna work for me. I've got a tool. My handy dandy, that didn't work tool. Gently, I'm just gonna loosen the edge. I'm terrible, y'all. If you've ever watched any of my tutorials, I make a mess around the lip edge of these containers and I try so hard to clean them off and I just don't always get that done. So just gently lift the edge. Boy, I made a mess out of that lid, didn't I? I need to clean this up or use it up. I'm gonna take, I've got about, let me put my glasses on and I'll tell you. I've got about 12 ounces of water and salt wash mix in here. So I wanna take, I don't know if my spoon is gonna be too big. Pardon me. But I'm gonna take my plastic spoon and I'm gonna get my teaspoon of paint and I'm gonna pour it down in my bottle. Now, this is a lot of water. This is a lot more water than I have in the other containers. So I'm gonna put a little bit more paint in here than I did in there. All right. There is no point in me trying to close that. I need to clean it. That's what I need to do with that one. All right, so the bottle now has sea SaltWash, not sea glass. It has SaltWash, water, and peacock feather. I'm gonna take my filter off the end if I can. Sometimes these will pop right off and sometimes they won't. This one's not gonna come off. So we're gonna cap this. I'm gonna close this and we're gonna shake this really well. You wanna make sure you shake it enough to mix the water, the paint, and the salt wash. So shake it really well. Make sure there's none of the salt wash on the bottom of the container. And don't use an expensive spray bottle. It will gum up your sprayer. You don't want to gum that up. Now, I have several different really cool recycled bottles here and a great big pickle jar. I love this one. So we're going to just wipe this off with a little bit of prep. Only because it's dirty. And I know the salt wash is going to go right over this, but I want it clean anyway. So, little bit of prep and one of my cleaning rags, and we'll just wipe it down. I love to recycle my glass jars. I hate to waste anything. So what do you do with your glass jars? Well, let me show you a really cool thing to do with them. I have a plastic container right here. I love these big containers of ice cream because I can recycle these and use them for these projects. Now this is a little bit too big to be in here, but I have the lids, so I can use the lid and I can set this down on the lid. I can use the bucket, as I love to call it, for a smaller bottle. Now I have this really cute little handled bottle. It's got a little cap on it. I'm gonna use this one too. So I'm gonna spray it down with a little bit of the prep and I'm gonna wipe it clean. This one still has some sticky on it from the label, which is gonna be just fine because that means my salt wash will stick even better. And that'll give it a really neat finish. All clean. And we have this liquor bottle. It's cute as it can be. I love the shape of these. I love the detail work. So we'll spray it with some prep and then we'll just wipe it clean too. If you want some really neat bottles and you don't drink alcoholic beverages, check with one of your favorite restaurants. Check with the bartender. They throw these bottles out all the time. And if you can recycle them, they probably won't mind sharing them with you at all. So we have 3 colors, we have 3 containers. Let's do something super cool with them. I'm gonna flip you over to, sorry about the reach, I'm away from my camera. We're gonna flip you over to just a solo view so you can see everything on the work table as we're going. All right, the first thing I wanna work with, I think I wanna work with the bluebird first. So let's take the bluebird and let's take the small container. Now there's a few different ways to do this. The spray method is usually what Salt Wash recommends. It can get messy though. So let's do this. I'm gonna move my clover field over. Let's take our brush and let's brush this on. It's very thin, so you see it running, catch it quickly. You want a nice smooth finish. So if you have runs, don't let them get away from you. Don't overload your paintbrush and just kind of brush it over the top of your glass jar and around your rim edge and on your handle. And then we'll set this down in front of the fan and we'll let it dry. This is gonna look really cute. Let's turn that fan on low. There we go. All right, let's get to the bottle that has a lot of texture and architecture to it. This is such a cool bottle. But let's use this and let's grab our green. So with the blue, I brushed it on. With our green, let's immerse the bottle. Let's take our container. Let me move the big one so you can see. We're gonna take the container, and I think the bottle might be too big for the container. Oh, that's terrible. It's all right, we can go this way. Let's take the lid off. Yeah, that'll work just fine. We'll do it side to side. And let's pour the salt wash and paint over the entire bottle and give it an immersion just like it's taking a bath in the salt wash and paint. And there's a little bit of salt wash clumping as I get to the bottom. It's okay. If you don't like that, get a paintbrush and brush it off. But I think it just lends itself to the mystery of the sea glass look. I think that's gonna look really cool. I'm gonna hold this up. I'm gonna pour my salt wash and paint back into my cup. And let's turn this over one more time on the opposite side, and let's immerse it one more time. Now we can do this several times. Oh yeah, look at the clumps of salt wash right there. Just a little bit of texture, unexpected, but let's let this set for just a few minutes. I'm gonna dump the paint and salt wash back into the cup, and we'll set this in the container to dry. I'm not gonna be able to put the fan on this. I'll put it over here, but I don't think the fan's gonna do a whole lot with this one. Let's see if I can get it in the fan. Yes, absolutely, there we go. We'll take the fan up one more notch. So that's our bluebird, that's our Cloverfield. Now this one's gonna be fun. This is the one that we have our peacock feather blue mixed up in a spray bottle with our salt wash and water. I have my biggest container. I'm gonna wipe the inside out, and we'll start on the inside of this jar. I know, it should be on the outside, shouldn't it? But let's spray that inside too. Can you see that color going in there? And this is what you get when you use the cheaper sprayers. It doesn't hurt your feelings if you ruin the sprayer, but you have to figure out how to work through when it doesn't want to lock down. There you go. If you spray it too hard, too fast, it doesn't like to spray. Cheap sprayers. Cheap sprayers, that's what they are. Take my special tool and pull that sprayer button back down. There we go. The big box store sprayers are not all they're cracked up to be. I'm just gonna roll it around inside. You can see it, right? You can see that peacock feather blue rolling around inside that glass jar. Now, there's extra. So just work it around. It's not gonna dry well. It's not gonna dry exactly the way it's going, because as it dries, it's gonna run back down. It'll be okay. Let some of that settle in the bottom. You'll get a really cool thickening effect at the bottom of your glass jar. Now, Here comes more of the fun, messy stuff. Let's spray down the outside of the bottle. Spray down the outside of the glass jar. There we go. Spin it as you're spraying. And it's gonna run. Let it. Make sure you've got a lot of newspaper on your table surface if it's a work table surface. If it's not your work table, then you should not be doing this on your dining room table. It's messy and it'll get everywhere. And if you're not the mama, you will get in trouble. And if you are the mama, then the kids will never let you forget it. Spray it down easy. I think I'm gonna have to take a paintbrush to this one. This one doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see. And Mel suggested my spray mister, and I'm a little scared to do that. But you know what? Let's try it and see. I broke the top off of it, so if I have to go get a new one right now, I've gotten my money's worth out of that one. Let's see what we can do with a spray mist bottle. Let's pour this in the spray mister that I love so dearly. And if I mess it up, I'll just run over to the beauty supply store and get another one. Now I'm going to spray the water out of it. It's got a little bit of water. There we go. Let's spray mist this. Oh, this works great. Mel, this was a great idea. I don't think she can hear me. I think she's hiding from the cameras. Here she comes. The spray mister was a great idea. Look.
Oh, the mister works?
It's working.
Yay!
So far, so good. Now, that's not to say that it's not going to gum up and get stuck in a little while, but look at that beautiful blue sea glass finish.
That's pretty.
And it's just fake sea glass, so don't judge me for it. I don't live at the ocean, but I love the look of sea glass. Now let's look. I'm gonna scoot this over into the fan. Look at my green bottle as it's drying. Look how beautiful that is. It really does have the tone.
It does, and the speckles of the
Salt
dry
wash,
salt wash
yes.
make it authentic. That gives it an authenticity.
Look at the bluebird. That's kind of cool. I can see this with a little ephemera label on it, faded out with the ink smeared. How cool is that? Applause, please. Thank you so much. I absolutely love making sea glass. Bring me more bottles. I have paint and I have a mister and I'm excited. Let's do this one. This one is an old salsa jar. We love salsa at my house, but I hate throwing these glass jars away. They have really cool architecture right here. The label, the sticky's still on the jar, but you know what? That just makes the salt wash combination with the Rethunk Junk paint stick to it better. Spray it evenly. Let the runs run down. Oh, this spray mister is the bomb diggity. I say that all the way up until it's gonna gum up with salt wash, but right now it's working great. I love it. This is like kid in the candy store kind of painting, y'all. The kids will make an absolute mess, but you know what? If you need a 30-minute craft outside to get the kids away from the TV and away from their electronic devices this summer, this is a great recycling project. I love the way this looks, but let's do some more. Let's do more. Now this is the immersion. So Mel, this is what we did. Mel was at the other end of the store.
I peeked when you were pouring.
Did
it
you?
over. I'm like, oh, all right.
So you just immerse it in the salt wash and Rethunk Junk liquid. Just pour it on there. Take it out. and pour that back into the cup. And then do it again. Do it from the other side. See, the first time I did it, I poured it from an angle into the container, like this. So I poured it one way, poured the paint back out, flipped the jar over, poured the other side. This looks so cool. And what a quick and easy project to do with the kids with your Rethunk Junk paints and your SaltWash. Look how cute that jar looks. Mel, I need more glass. I just spent all my glass. Bring me some more glass.
I got a couple of lamps back there that might look really neat.
There are tons of jars and containers in this store.
Oh,
We've got these under the fans drying. I just need more right here.
Still has a label.
Yeah, I need no label jars. Like that. Just like that. Oh, yes. No label jars. I love them. So we have, I think this was sun-dried tomatoes, and it still has some sticky on it, so that'll give us some good texture. This, this one's broken. Yep, this one banged and broke. But this is an Atlas mason jar. My favorite spaghetti sauce comes in these. Recycle. Try not to throw things away so that we're not gumming up the landfills. We need to be a lot more conscious about using what we have instead of wasting. My grandmother used to say, waste not, want not. It's taken me my entire life to figure out what she meant, and that's a real thing. If you don't waste your containers, then you won't want containers to work with. You'll have them. And this is a really cool work with them kind of project. I'm gonna take my, you know what? I'm gonna take my Bluebird. Since we're mixing colors here, let's do the immersion on this jar too. This is a lot less messy. And if you have littles when you're doing this project, you may want to use this technique. It's a little less messy, and you get a little more on your container at the same time. So when I lay this back down in there, now we have Bluebird mixed with whatever was left over from the clover field. And we're just going to pour that right over the top of the jar, completely immersing the glass jar in the liquid and the SaltWash. And I'm really, really excited to see this play through. Look how beautiful color that jar is going to be. I'm going to stand it up in front of the fan and let it dry with the other containers. We'll crank that fan up on high. This one looks like it's ready to be sprayed again. The thing about doing the SaltWash and the glass jars is that you might need to do more than one coat if you're spraying it, because it creates a translucent finish. It's almost like putting SaltWash in the Rethunk Junk washes, because you don't have a lot of color to work with, just a little, but you've got that texture, that dried out, rolling around in the sun and the sand finish that sea glass actually gets when it's in the ocean. And I think if Sherry MacArthur were here right now, she'd say, yep, that's what it has a tendency to look like. We're gonna let all of these dry, and I'm gonna try to refrain from painting every single glass jar I have in the house today, because it's so easy and simple to do. Once these are finished, you can embellish them with little seashells that you found at the ocean, or if you scooped some sand, you can roll it in sand and give it a little bit of a sandy bottom. You can tie some jute twine around it or a pretty little ribbon, and it'll make a beautiful decor piece for one of your entry tables. You can see all the different colors of the faux sea glass that we quickly and very easily created by using an immersion technique, a brush-on technique, and a spray-on technique. You can do it. Oh, hey, Sherry, that's it exactly. Thank you. Lights, of course. Get some fairy lights and put down in the jars as well, and you'll have your own jar full of lightning bugs. Whatever you choose to do with your faux sea glass jars, make sure you recycle them. Wash them up and get your Rethunk Junk and SaltWash from any of your official Rethunk Junk retailers, or order it online. If you're not sure who your local retailer is, make sure you check that retailer locator at www.rethunkjunkbylaura.com. Just click the button to find a retailer and find one near you. No one near you? Order online from rethunkjunkbylaura.com anytime. But your local retailers will be happy to teach you how to make faux sea glass just like this. Thank you so much for being here today. I sure appreciate it. Share this with your friends and family and get them involved in all the fun provided by Rethunk Junk Paints by Laura. It is a fabulous product. I'm Diane. We're here in Florence, South Carolina at Two Girls Treasure, and I sure hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Go grab your recycle bin and save the world one jar at a time. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye now.